of dementia is? Any guesses on that one? What do you think the most common type of dementia? Do you know anybody with dementia? Family member, friend, neighbor, coworker, somebody you used to know from long ago? The most common type of dementia is Alzheimer's. There's that word, Alzheimer's. So Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. It's one of those 400. Now, the big news here, if you've never heard this, is that Alzheimer's is so big that it takes up about 60 to 80%. So just think of that dementia umbrella over top and all the different types of dementia, the 400. Alzheimer's takes up this big block, huge block, 60 to 80%, in fact. I just find that like absolutely, like, why is that? And I don't think they know because they don't have a cure yet, but at least we know that this one's a big one. Now that you know that Alzheimer's is a type of dementia, can you think what the most, or guess what the second most common type of dementia? What do you think the second most common type of dementia is? You know, think about any other dementias you know of. Vascular dementia. Has everybody heard of vascular dementia? You might not have heard of it. You know, if you're not in the healthcare field, you might not, or you might have a family member that developed vascular dementia. Now, in fact, it's usually that you develop vascular dementia once you've had a pretty significant stroke. So if you know somebody who's had a significant stroke, this is the type of dementia that can develop afterwards. The reason being, why? Because of that oxygen deprivation to the brain when in the midst of having the stroke. Oxygen is blocked, the blood vessels blocked, the oxygen can't get to the brain. That's how you end up having a stroke in the first place. And then this is the type of dementia that kind of creeps up or develops after the fact. Now, maybe not like the little mini strokes that some people get, the little warning signs with the little mini strokes. This is pretty much when you've had a fairly moderate to significant stroke. Doesn't mean you're going to get it though. So don't get worried if you've had a stroke that, oh my gosh, it's going to happen. But it's something that is higher chance that that's going to happen. Now, who here thinks that dementia is part of normal aging? Part of normal aging. We see it a lot, don't we? Like it seems to be kind of almost inevitable as we age. But do you think it's part of normal aging? Anybody want to answer that in the chat or shout it out? You're all a quiet bunch today.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Vicki. Yes, yes and no. You're right. The answer is you are correct. Dementia is not part of normal aging. Phew, isn't that good to know? Because if it was, I'd be worried as I'm aging myself. In fact, most of us will have, our good memories, have our memories for a lifetime until we pass. That's good to know. Now, there might be, where we don't feel our memory is as sharp as it was when we were, say, 20 or 30, but we will still have our memories. So you'll remember the school days. You might remember, that funny person at the office that used to sit next to you. You'll have those little memories. Someone will twig a memory of, the neighborhood picnic that you used to have every year, and you will remember that person who's there. You might not quite remember their name, but you'll remember what they looked like or how they sounded. That's what I mean. We're going to have our memories. This is super, super important. Now, I'm going to talk about one other little thing just so that you, if you want to contradict me, but this is where this part falls in, okay? Because let's face it, even myself, now I'm turning 57 this year. I'm pretty open about my age, especially with you guys. When I'm walking down the street, I might not tell people how old I am. Most people think I'm younger, and I'm okay with that, especially because I have a younger husband, or he looks young. My husband looks young. And so people just assume I'm in my late 30s or 40s. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm good with that. But I turned 57 in the end of October. End of October, I turned 57. So about 40% of us, all of us collectively, after we hit age 65, will experience some type of memory loss, a little bit of like memory loss. What we call this is age-associated memory impairment. So if you are taking notes, you might want to write that word down, that title, age-associated memory impairment. Okay, that is not a dementia. I want you to be clear. I want to be clear on that. That is not a dementia. That is just part of aging. After age 65, we might notice like, word finding, I can't think of that. I'm scared I'm going to forget my PIN for the bank, for the ATM. You just can't remember the real specific details of a story that you once used to tell all the time. That's normal. But it only is going to affect 40% over 65. The other 60% might just be, A-okay, no problems. Now, there's some reasons, there's some things that happen from a nutritional point of view, from a health point of view, that can cause you to think like, oh my gosh, I think I'm getting dementia. And have any of us thought that at some time in our life? I was in a panic once, and I was much younger, and I didn't think I had dementia, but I thought, oh my gosh, like there's something wrong with my memory. But I was under a lot of stress. So there you go. If you're under a lot of stress, or your stress levels have increased lately because of a financial issue, or a death, or if there's something that has caused your stress levels to go up, in fact, you probably will notice that you're having some problems with memory because your cortisol is running through your body. Now, I won't get off track here, but I just wanted to mention that. There's one other thing that can cause you to have some cognitive fog, some cognitive issues. And I'm going to talk about that when we talk about food at the end. Okay, so remind me if I forget to tell you. That's the little hack, the little secret. All right, any questions from anybody so far, or comments from anybody? We definitely have time for questions, and so I do encourage you to or make a comment if you'd like. Don't forget your water as well. I always try to drink my water during classes to encourage you all to be hydrating yourself as well. As a nurse, one of the most frequently asked questions during my career, and I still have a career, but I'm not nursing specifically anymore. I do mostly teaching and coaching and mentoring like I am here. One of the most frequently asked question is, I have a family member with Alzheimer's disease. Does that mean I'm going to get it too? And many people ask me that question. Many people have asked me that question. It might go around in your head too. Maybe you have an uncle with Alzheimer's. Maybe somebody in your family just got diagnosed and you're like terrified, or the neighbor, and you're just thinking, oh my gosh, like, does this mean, am I going to get it? The simple answer is no. All right. So that's the good news. The good news is simple answer is no. Alzheimer's disease is actually what we call sporadic. You've probably heard that word before, sporadic, but maybe not used in this circumstance. What that means is it doesn't run in families. Yay. So Alzheimer's isn't necessarily something that runs in families. There is, however, a small percentage, 5% of people in families that will get what we call familial or inherited Alzheimer's. Now, the research and the information that I have been provided with for my research is it has to be a connection with a direct family member, mother, father, brother, or sister. Those are the only direct family members that I'm talking about when it comes to this familial type of Alzheimer's disease passed down through the genes. We're not talking about grandmother. We're not talking about uncle. We're not talking about first cousin. We're not talking about, any other family member. We're talking directs, mother, father, brother, sister. So if you do have a direct family member that has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, there is a chance that you could end up with this trait that passes through the genes and end up with getting